Bring out the merchandise.
Don't be offended. We have a way of making sure our clients are who they say they are.
Now.
No, wait! Pull me up! Please! I've told you everything I know.
I didn't kill that cop.
The story begins with Tony, a Royal Thai police detective who goes undercover as a businessman to infiltrate a human trafficking ring. Posing as a buyer, he plays along until one of the thugs suddenly presses a gun to his head and orders him to test the product.
We have a way of making sure our clients are who they say they are.
Now.
Tony pretends to undo his belt, then explodes into action. After subduing the traffickers in vicious close-quarters beating, he forces information out of their leader about a ship transporting kidnapped girls and the man receiving the shipment, Viktor Dragovic, a powerful Serbian mob boss.
Please! I've told you everything I know.
Meanwhile, in Newark, New Jersey, Nick Cassidy, a New York detective, and Reed, an FBI agent, discover that Dragovic has already made his way into the United States. Their captain briefs the task force, explaining that Dragovic is one of the biggest players in the global human trafficking network. With Dragovic's container ship approaching the U.S., Cassidy and his team prepare to intercept it at the docks. When the ship arrives, Dragovic and his son Andre discover that the trafficked women inside have suffocated during transport. Cold and unforgiving, Viktor lashes out in fury, blaming the ship's captain for the loss. He orders the man tortured before personally executing him with a single gunshot to the chest. As police swarm the docks, a violent shootout erupts between law enforcement and Dragovic's men. Nick chases Dragovic and Andre through the chaos, leading to a brutal struggle where Nick is forced to shoot Andre in self-defense. Dragovic is arrested shortly after and interrogated about his operation, But he remains defiant, dangerous even in custody, clearly willing to protect his empire at any cost.
30 counts of murder. You should have killed me in that dockyard, detective.
Later that night, Nick returns home to meet his wife and daughter, but he barely has time to settle in before armed men ambush him.
This is for our brother.
The attackers reveal that Dragovic sent them as retaliation for Andrei's death. They murder Nick's family and leave him severely wounded. The assault shatters him, fueling a burning desire for revenge. As Nick recovers in the hospital, his captain and Reed visit him with devastating news. His wife didn't survive, and while his daughter lived, her whereabouts are unknown. They fear Dragovic's men may have kidnapped her and fled the country. Overwhelmed by grief and rage, Nick decides he cannot wait for the system to save her. After they leave, Nick steals clothes and painkillers, slips out of the hospital, retrieves his weapons, and storms the restaurant owned by Dragovic's attorney.
I need wife, children. So did I.
He kills everyone connected to Dragovic, forces the lawyer to reveal Dragovic's location, then shoots him and detonates an explosion that destroys the building as he walks away. Meanwhile in Cambodia, where Dragovic has taken refuge, Senator Court warns him that U.S. security agencies are pressuring him and extradition is imminent. Desperate, Dragovic uses blackmail to pressure the senator into buying him a little more time, just enough to clean up loose ends and disappear again. Nick travels to Thailand to hunt Dragovic down. Believing Nick has become unstable, the U.S. government sends Reed to detain him, assigning Tony and his partner to assist. But at the airport, Nick realizes he's being tailed and slips away. Their pursuit quickly turns deadly. Reed, already compromised by Dragovic's money, takes the chance to kill Tony's partner and frames Nick for the murder.
I got lucky. He's gone insane.
The betrayal throws everything into chaos, leaving Tony torn between duty and the nagging sense that something doesn't add up. Tony chases Nick through the streets of Bangkok and corners him in a busy market. They fight briefly before Nick slams Tony onto a car hood and escapes. Later, Nick follows a lead to a nightclub and confronts one of Dragovic's men.
I don't speak English.
After a ruthless interrogation, he extracts Dragovic's current location. But Nick's actions bring law enforcement crashing down on him. When Tony and Reed attempt to arrest him at the nightclub, another violent gunfight erupts. Nick escapes again and heads to Dragovic's warehouse, only to run into Tony a second time.
I didn't kill that cop.
That cop was my friend.
This time Tony overwhelms Nick in a brutal hand-to-hand fight, but Nick reveals the truth. Reed was the one who killed Tony's partner. Fueled by anger and betrayal, he engages Reed in a fierce fight. The fight ends with Tony killing Reed. With justice served for his fallen partner, Tony is finally ready to confront the mastermind behind it all.
I love people with scars.
Nick and Tony join forces and launch a daring assault on Dragovic's heavily fortified compound. Tony rescues his girlfriend while Nick fights his way to Dragovic. Viktor, mortally wounded, reveals a chilling truth with his last breath. Sofia is alive, but she has been sold deeper into the trafficking network. As explosions tear through the compound, Tony drags Nick away from the blast. When the smoke clears, Nick's daughter is nowhere to be found. Heartbroken and haunted by new questions, Nick prepares to continue the search. Before leaving, he bids farewell to Tony and Tony's girlfriend. He gives them a photo of Sofia, asking them to keep it safe until the day he brings her home. Then he disappears into the world's underbelly once more, this time driven not by revenge, but by a father's resolve to find his daughter. Subscribe for more dramas like this, and don't forget to like this video, it really helps the channel grow.